Oh, here we go. Joel, fish on.
Really nice looking fish.
I love it.
That's a hog.
Oh yeah, bring him up to me. It's a nice fish.
Nice job. That is a tank. Nice job, you two.
Lund Boats proudly presents the ultimate fishing experience. This week on Lund's The Ultimate Fishing Experience, we're exploring a new approach to catching channel catfish. There's no question that the simple hook, line, sinker with cut bait is one of the most effective methods to catch cats. It's also true in many river systems, channel cats often bury themselves deep in heavy wood cover. And the only way you can catch them with that exposed hook is if you can draw them out to a less snaggy area. But what if instead of waiting for them on the front lawn, you could go knocking on their door? This is the approach James Linder has been exploring recently with weedless jigs for heavy cover cats. Along with Ty Shodine, who's after his first cat ever.
First cat is a turtle.
They'll see how effective this method can be for dragging out channel cats and other species buried deep in the wood.
Another bass. Caught my first cat and I caught multiple cats today, so it was a great day.
Well, we're gonna have a pretty interesting mission today. We're going catfishing. I'm with Ty Shodine. Ty has never fished for catfish. It's the second week of July, and it's really prime time. You know, we're blessed in the fact that we live up in the North Country. We can fish for a wide variety of different fish species, from bass, walleyes, muskies, but we're on a cat mission today. Small rivers and some prime time catfishing.
Jim's exactly right. I have never catfished. We got him right in our back door. You think Minnesota, you don't typically think catfish, but he was on them yesterday, found some cats. Looking at his setup, looks like we're going for some unconventional cat trips.
You know, there's a lot of different ways to catch catfish. The classic is a cut bait rig, which is just a slip sinker and a small leader and a hook, and then you put cut bait on it, throw it out in front of log jams and just let it sit and the fish come out of the log jams to bite. Another technique is that we use a lot, particularly later in the summer, is actually slip floats, which is a really extraordinarily effective technique at times. And then what we're going to be doing a lot of today, flipping bass jigs. And this is something that I just started messing around with the last couple of years, and it's really pretty interesting, you know, and there's a lot of different techniques that cross from one species to another. Bass jigs are really designed for wood cover. We just started taking bass jigs and putting cut bait on them and flipping log jams, and it's extraordinarily effective. You know, and bass jigs are actually really designed for fishing wood cover, and this is what we've been doing lately, and you'll see it's quite interesting. You're just flipping in front of these log jams and just let it sit, and active fish come out of these log jams really pretty quickly. It's actually pretty deep right here. It's about 10 foot in front of these log jams right here, and you just hold it in place and hopefully we'll get a nibble. Oop, there's another one.
Got him. There you go.
Just a little guy, sort of going in after him. Nice eater here, little fiddler. More active fish, they really set up on the front faces when they're actively feeding, but when the fish are inactive, you can go right in after them. That's the nice thing with these jigs. You can go in there and flip them right out of there. Got him. Walleye. Oh,
It's a
smallmouth.
smallmouth.
Oh, is that right?
Come out here for catfish with bass baits and catch bass. There's nothing wrong with that, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Look at that, he's got some damage to his head. Been bonking it on the trees. Beautiful fish though.
Yeah, nice one.
Just using those typical bass bait for catfish, catching bass. That was fun.
So what Ty and I are doing is pitching these baits out and trying to position the jig, but we're not jigging it in the conventional sense as like, you know, bass jigging where you're popping it up and down. Though I have caught catfish doing that. As a general rule, you're using the jig is just like to position the cut bait in key spots around the log jams where the fish are most apt to be positioned at. There's one.
There you go. Nice
No.
one.
No. Oh,
Cat though.
yeah.
Good job, Jim.
Huh. Darn it. Looking for a little bit sportier models. Real pretty one though. Look at that thing. Talking about eating. Ooh, this guy here, he'd be a special one. That's the perfect eating model right there. Beautiful fish though. Look how pretty they are. It's a female. And that's one thing that people think that, you know, catfish are really sort of lethargic, and, you know, when these fish are up and active, they're really pretty aggressive hunters.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Mercury Marine. Go boldly.
It's not really that uncommon to catch a catfish where they swim on a bass jig, but I can tell you one thing, you put a little bit of meat on there, that definitely helps the cause, because they're just so scent oriented, you know. But when the fish are hot, you know, you flip into the front face of these log jams and it's pretty fast, sort of like that one we pulled up. You know, you make 2 or 3 casts and you drop it in, and every one of the log jams is sort of laid out a little bit differently, but the fish are really fixed on wherever that focus current is moving through, and that's where you want to be dropping the bait. You really, it's pretty unbelievable how sensitive it is, because I felt that fish come up and their whiskers just sort of snapping on it. Here's a little bit better one time. Ooh, ooh.
Got some juice to it.
Yeah, but, you know.
Maybe a net.
Yeah, this is more of a different, this is a little bit of a sportier model here. Yeah. A male though.
Axe tough. Just axe tough.
Yeah, just let's see if we can get her up.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. Oh,
Boy, those things are strong. in this current.
they are. You gotta. Come here, buddy. Yeah, come here. There we go. There you go.
Nice job.
Yeah. Now you're talking. Could get some. There you go. Beautiful fish though. That's a small male. These fish just got done spawning probably about 3-4 weeks ago, and they're just starting to feed back up like any different fish species. After they're done spawning, they have a little recuperative period, and you can see how this fish is sort of thin. But they come a lot bigger than that, but you can see that's a male by the shape of its head. It's got the big sort of square, really muscular shaped head, where the females have a lot more of a thinner cylindrical, more hydrodynamic head. We'll get her back in the drink. You're a little toughy, I think, you, Mr. Catfish. For this jig fishing cats, I'm actually using a heavy action 7'6" St. Croix bass rod. This is my Bass Flippin' Sticks, spooled with a 30-pound test Suffix Performance braid in a high-speed reel. This is a 8.1 reel, but the thing is that the line is really critical, obviously, because you're really doing a lot of seesaw battle in the wood, and sometimes if you're in there deep, you have to literally pull them out of there, and I'm seeing it more than enough. You need at least 30-pound test. But the other thing that's so nice about that line is sensitivity. Like I said, right before I had that bite, I felt the fish come up, and he was actually using its barbels, and it's actually picking up the scent of the bait, and it started rattled it right before I got the bite. Let's see if we can get one more out of here.
Oh, there we go.
Whoop, you got another one? There you go.
Oh,
There you go.
My first cat.
Yeah, you're about due.
Broke the ice, Jimmy.
There you go.
Actually just had to put it right where you
Ooh,
were
look
at.
at that. Nice. Your first cat is a turtle. A soft shell.
Aren't these what the turtles are, catfish are supposed to look like?
You know, I'm sort of a nice guy, and sometimes I take cats off for my buddies in the boat. I'm not taking that offer. You might have to break out the pliers for this. Yeah, be careful about him. He's got a. There you go. That was probably the best of
Still a virgin when it comes to catfish. Got me excited though. That was the main thing.
Get him.
That time I got him.
I was gonna say,
I was waiting.
I'd say, get him. I was gonna say, the way he was nibbling, that was like more of a serious deal
There's
there.
the first cat, for sure, for sure, for sure. That was a little more of a teamwork situation. Jim and I were both watching. There's a kitty. Look at that. It's not bad for a first one, huh?
Yeah.
Both watching my rod load up. He was ticking. I missed so many today. I was just like, I am going to give him a little bit more time. And it's really cool when you have a river situation like this where we're actually hitting a lot of these log jams. That guy. To have a good trolling motor like the Terrova with spot lock. You run through a few fish, or they basically slow us down. You got a remote, you can do it from back here. You don't have to go up on the bow. And basically jump from one log jab to the next and catch these kitties.
One of the reasons I didn't like catfishing was because of an anchor. And the Terrova, the spot lock feature on these trolling motors have really changed the game because it enables you to not have to be lugging around a big anchor. Not only that, you can see where we're anchoring. We're anchoring in log jams and trying to get it in and out and reposition the boat. It just makes it so much more efficient, and not only more efficient, so exact. We can slide around. You can see we have 3 different log jams, and we're gonna slide the trolling motor and just slipping backward, fishing the front face of these really pretty quickly. And it's just amazing, amazing tool for river fishing, no question about that.
Like Jim was saying, anchors are a thing of the past. Spot lock's the way to go.
You know, a lot of people would look at this and would say, well, we're fishing the upper Mississippi. And you say, well, that doesn't look like the Mississippi River I know, but it is. There's one more dam ahead of us, but we have about 90 miles of water here. And what's interesting, and I've actually had the good fortune to fish almost all 90 miles of it, and it's got all different species of fish, from walleye, smallmouth bass, muskies, catfish, largemouth bass. But what's sort of interesting is how the river changes compositionally. Certain sections have sort of mud banks and lots of wood. Certain sections are narrow and fast with a lot more rock in it. And seasonally, these fish actually shift and move around within this 90 miles of water. A lot of these catfish, you know, they overwinter in very, very specific holes. They spawn in certain sections, and the fish move around a lot in that system. Certain sections, like the rocky sections per se, are far and away better smallmouth bass areas, even though we have caught some number of nice smallies today. Yep. The interesting thing is sometimes, depending on the activity level of the fish, you know, when they're really active, they have the tendency to get on the front, really key feeding positions. And what I mean by key feeding positions, that might be that corner where the current is breaking, the very front of it where Ty caught those other couple of alternate species, and then that side there. But when the fish are inactive, a lot of times with these log jams, all the different species of fish will drop downstream and get out of the current, because obviously if they're not feeding, they don't want to sit there and have to fight the current all the time.
There we go.
Got him?
Got him that time.
That's a cat.
No, it's not. Another bass. Smallmouth town. That's probably what I missed. He came back like 3 times.
Huh.
Well, these smallies are tough in this current too. There we go. Look at that fighter. The nice thing about being in the river system is there's everything else in there too. We've got smallmouth bass, cats, walleye, and pike. So it's been a fun multi-species day. Cool.
You know, today we're fishing a relatively small section of a river, and this is absolutely a fabulous boat for this type of fishing, for moderate to smaller waters. And this is the 1650 Angler. Now, when you look at the boat, it's actually really stable. It's got an IPS hull, 82-inch beam. We have a 50-horse 4-stroke on here, 4-bladed Spitfire prop, and it pushes 3 people in this boat really pretty quickly. But the nice thing is, once you get into the interior, it's got everything you need. Live well, rod lockers, more than enough storage. Right now we actually have 2 different pieces of electronics on here. We actually have the Terrova, as you've been watching, and then we actually have just a small Helix. But this is absolutely a fabulous boat for just all around comfortable fishing. It's a small boat, moderately priced, but it's a great fishing craft. Like Lund makes so many different boats. This is a great one.
There we go. Oh, he smoked it.
That one? Yes.
That one did not mess around.
Nettable or no?
I don't know, I haven't seen it yet. Oh yeah, no, it's not edible. It is a kitty though. Look at that. As the afternoon is going along, these fish are definitely, without a doubt, getting more aggressive. We started off this morning and they were just nibbling on it. Some of those were smaller fish, but it seemed like as the sun is coming out and everything's heating up, these fish are getting more active. That thing just pile drove it. Let me tell you what, contact fishing, if you're not paying attention, this one almost actually took the rod out of my hand. It's a good thing we're using heavier gear, because I pulled that thing right out of that wood there, otherwise he would have right back in there. That might have been a little bit of trouble.
There you go. Whoa.
You know, when you catch one of these, you get addicted and get it figured out. Look at that guy. Boy, these are fun to catch, huh? This is my first time catfishing. It's just like anything, you got to figure it out. You got to figure out how they're biting. Like early on, the smaller ones were just nibbling on it. It seemed like these bigger fish that we're catching now are engulfing. I just pitched that up. As soon as I hit the bottom, that thing picked it up. So these things are a lot of fun to catch. And like I said, when you get them figured out, you start catching multiples. There we go. I'm addicted to this catfishing now. Pretty simple baits, just a normal bass flipping jig with a little bit of cut bait. It didn't even have to have that much cut bait on it really. Inch and a half of cut bait and just for the scent. After doing this today, I won't overlook it again.
One thing I like about fishing these rivers like this is the lack of other boats. What do you think about catting?
You know, when you asked me to go catfishing, I definitely, my ears perked up and I was just like, I can't believe I've never done this.
Yeah.
You know, it's just right in our backyard and because there are no other people, it's just, I'm the same way. It's just an overlooked species.
Well, you live right next door to it. You live closer than anybody at the office.
Exactly. You know, and what I'm finding is this catfish are a very simple fish to actually catch. I mean, it's just like anything. You can use your bass gear, you can use your walleye gear, you're using, you know, pitching jigs, and you're catching catfish. So basically what I'm saying is you can take your significant other, your kids, your whole family. You don't need a giant boat. We're fishing in a 1650 angler.
No.
And you go find these log jams.
Yeah, catfish are people's fish. They're good eating. They're really generally pretty positive. They got a positive mental attitude. They bite a lot. And they're great eating, you know, they're great eating fish.
Definitely
Great
finding
fun
out that
fish
they
to
are
catch.
they are definitely a fighting fish, especially when you get in this current. Those fish, whether it be catfish or any species, they definitely give you a pretty good tug.
Oh yeah.
That being it's overlooked, after doing this today, I won't overlook it again.
Yeah, no.
There we go.
There you go. A little bit better one. Oh, bass.
Another bass. Bass gear, you're gonna catch some bass along with the cats.
I can't believe how you're catching them.
Another beautiful bass. Look at that guy. Nothing wrong with catching bonus bass, Jim.
No.
That guy.
What's sort of interesting, you know, we used to fish a lot of traditional cut bait rig, which is just a sinker and a hook, fishing these same log jams. You primarily catch catfish. Since we started jigging like this, you're catching alternate species as well. You catch cats, bass, walleyes, smallmouth, pike too, yeah. It doesn't take long, I know that much. Boy, you flip up there, I know when the fish are set up to feed, they're there to feed. They're set up right in the front face of this thing to feed. And that's it, whatever species of fish you're fishing. That's a cat there, I think.
It might be a walleye.
Nope, it's a cat. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. That's a cat.
You need a netter on that one, Jim?
Yeah. No, that way, yeah, she is sort of with the current here and maybe make things a little bit easier here. Hang on. Let him get in position here first. Yeah, come here, buddy. Come here. There you go.
Net man's always good.
Yeah, there we go. Ooh, pretty female one. Come here, buddy. Come here. Real pretty one. Look at this guy here. Look at that. Beautiful fish. But talking about fun, I mean, this is sort of a fun deal, isn't it? It really is. I know we started messing around with this. And the interesting thing is, it definitely works, boy. Just beautiful fish, aren't they? We'll get her back in the drink. You get those hot ones fast. What's amazing to me is how you can drop it back down there again, and how in the world they could find it again. Almost a lot of times you'll drop back and you miss them like that, you'll throw it back in there. And they, how in the world, you look at the water, how in the world, 14 foot down there, somehow he could find that thing in the water. Ooh. They're fast, aren't they?
Yeah.
When they turn around, they start rolling.
It's a walleye.
Another walleye, huh?
Walleye, walleye, walleye. No matter where I go, it seems the walleyes follow me. Look at that. That's a dandy right there. Beautiful fish.
Boy, that's a beautiful walleye there. That's almost got sauger markings.
It
It's
does
a
too, doesn't it?
interesting looking animal you got there.
This dark water really makes them look different, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Oh, there we go. Got him. Yep. And a tip.
What species?
I have no idea.
What?
I have no idea.
After with you, it's always something different. So it's
I have no idea, but he's staying
Cat.
down. Be nice if it was a big old kitty.
yeah.
Oh yeah, look at that.
I'll get that rascal. Hang on. We'll get that little rumbler for you. Ooh, nice male. Come here, buddy. Come here. There you go.
Thank you, sir.
Oh,
Nice.
that isn't a bad one.
There you go.
They're fun to catch, aren't they?
What a great day. I appreciate you asking me to come out here. This is the first time I've gone for cats, which is hard to believe. This is right in our backyard. Caught my first cat, and I caught multiple cats today, so it was a great day.
We had
And
some
it was actually turned into a multi-species
day too. Jigging River wood log jams. It goes to show you something, learn something every day.
Thanks for joining us. If you'd like more information, check out lunboats.com or these other online outlets.